Alejandro Garnacho, welcome back to Red Devils TV. Garnacho saves Ten Hag, saves United, gets us the 3 points. It's a great way to end before the World Cup. So I'll speak about Garnacho first because I'm seeing some people awarding him the man of the match. For me, you can't really give Garnacho man of the match. You could say he had the moment of the match, really, because obviously he got the winning goal. But you can't really say he's man of the match because apart from the goal, he didn't really do much. For me, I found it frustrating, really, that so many players were relying on Garnacho to do something. I saw McTominay constantly passing to Garnacho. I saw Bruno constantly creating for Garnacho, and which is fine because we're creating moments for a young player. But at the end of the day as well, is that we can't be relying on Garnacho this early in his career. Like, that was a beautiful goal by Garnacho. He literally replicated what Daniel James did against Luke Shaw, where he beat his man for pace and he just slotted it in. So really, that's the excuse me. But Garnacho, it was a great moment. He's got a goal in the Premier League. He's now got a goal in the Europa League. He created a goal in the Carabao Cup. The guy is getting better and better after each game, and it's a joy to watch him play. And I know that once I get paid, I'm probably getting a Garnacho shirt 100%. Excuse me. But anyway, we'll stop about talking about Garnacho. Obviously, he is the hero. He's rescued us tonight. He's got us them 3 points, which is absolutely crucial to our season because these are the games that United need to be winning and showing that we want top 4. We can't do what we've done over previous seasons where we get too many draws, or we lose to a Sheffield United, or we lose or a draw to a Fulham, or we draw to a Newcastle. Like, these draws is what allows teams to go from top 4 to the top 8, and draws kill you, really. You'd rather win one game and lose 2 than draw 2 and lose 1, because even though you've lost more, you've still won 1, and it helps you out because obviously you get more points from that. And obviously you don't want to be losing. Nobody who supports football wants their team to lose, but obviously you've also got to be realistic that today was a tough game. I said it in my preview that even without Mitrovic, Fulham will be a threat. And God knows what would happen if they did have Mitrovic today, because in the first half, Fulham were creating, they were up for it, they were trying to score a goal. And it's just unfortunate that Vinicius, their backup striker, didn't get the chances to score for Fulham. And obviously their other players, but obviously Vinicius being their talisman of the game, he had a few dangerous moments. He forced David De Gea to save a few times. Excuse me. And it was a good game. It was a very entertaining game. Excuse me. Get some water, 1 second. That's better. I say that. Fucking hell. Right, hopefully that's better. Right. So as I was saying, Mitrovic obviously being absent today for Fulham was really noticeable, and the fact that Fulham rely on a player so much is why I fear for Ten Hag, because of the lack of rotation is available for United. Yes, we have obviously a big squad, but the quality isn't there. It's like if we lost Casemiro, for example, a guy who won't get you headlines but is crucial to United's system. If he got injured, let's say he gets injured in Brazil, in Qatar for Brazil, and then he's out for a month, and then we miss him for the first 2 games back against Forest and Wolves. What do we do then? We are then panicking because we don't have a defensive midfielder. And I don't want that to happen to Ten Hag. I don't want that to happen to United, because we need to be able to be confident that if a player is absent, then we and still put up a shift without him. And Fulham and the much smaller teams or lower teams in the Premier League are spitting examples of that. If they lose their main guy, like they go to bed, and then that's when they start losing games. And obviously, the Premier League is an amazing league, and and every team has one main guy. But if you lose that main guy, then that's when that's what makes you a bottom half league team. So I feel like that obviously this is a rebuild for Ten Hag, and I feel like that if the club back him, more and more players that are right mentality, passionate, footballing driven, not money driven, they will fix Manchester United, and hopefully United are back on top. But I'm not putting that pressure on Ten Hag. It's his first season. It's a great win tonight. I'm full of positivity, and that's what you want to be a Manchester United fan. It feels good to be a Manchester United fan. But anyway, we'll talk about how certain players played. So David De Gea, I'll do my player ratings after this. But David De Gea, as you know, I'll do my player ratings now actually. So David De Gea, he made a few good saves. It was obviously a lucky goal from... Not a lucky goal. The goal was coming from Fulham, actually. They were creating loads and they just couldn't put it in the back of the net. But then, obviously, it was a wide cross. Was it from Willian? Or who was it? Well, a Fulham player made a great cross. Obviously, Luke Shaw lost his man. Dan James is really rapid, as we know from him being a previous Manchester United player. And he taps it in. Nothing De Gea can do. He's Luke Shaw's man. Luke Shaw should have dealt with him better, and that's all I can really say about that. But David De Gea had a solid performance. I would give him an 8 out of 10. Malacia, I'd give a 7. I feel like that, considering he was on the opposite side of where he normally plays. Obviously, as we know, Malacia is mainly a left back. But the fact that he put up a shift in right back, I feel like he did a great shift. He did struggle a few times. I did notice him that he preferred to take a touch and hit it with his left more than hitting it with his right. And obviously that's just due to your weak foot, and obviously you're just not confident with both feet. But I'm really impressed with Malacia today. Obviously the lot was a massive miss, and it's good to know that Malacia can put up a shift at right back if he is needed. Lindelof, I'll give a 7 as well. Obviously I know we conceded a goal, but really they had a great performance. It wasn't like Fulham only created one chance and scored from it. They created quite a few chances, and if it wasn't for our defenders, it could have been a cricket score. But strictly speaking, Lindelof put up a shift today. He's had to fill in some very big. He had to fill in some very big shoes in Varane, and he's doing well, I think. And I said in my match preview that Fulham, if Mitrovic doesn't play Lindelof, because they don't have a dominant physical striker to challenge Lindelof, and that's Lindelof's weakness. As we know, Lindelof isn't the best in the air when Maguire is. So when Maguire and Lindelof were a pair, and we face a dominant striker, Maguire would normally take that dominant striker on, and Lindelof would be the more like he would help out. He would defend against wingers if they got past the fullbacks. But no, like I said, I give Lindelof a 7. I think he did really well today. So yeah, that's the score I give him. Martinez, I think he did a bit better than Lindelof. I'd give him a 7.5. I feel like he didn't do too much. He got who was it? I think it was Dan James, won it, where Dan James just outpaced him and shoved him off him. And obviously Martinez is obviously a physical appearance. He is an aggressive player, and he will be very frustrated that a player like Dan James got the better of him. And I feel like Martinez was very comfortable as a centre-back today, but once Dan James came on, obviously he scored a goal. We need to give credit to Dan James. He did well. He got Fulham back into the game. And I think it was just a disappointing night for Martinez. But again, it was a great move from Fulham by putting Dan James on the right wing, because as we know, Malacia is much quicker than Shaw is. So the Fulham manager knew this, and what's the word? He deliberately put Dan James on that right wing to run at Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw isn't quicker than Malacia. Like, you're not going to put Dan James against Malacia, because Malacia has the pace to get back. So, yeah, Martinez, like I said, I'll give him a 7.5. He cleared a few chances. Obviously, he blocked a few chances. He broke up the play. He did really well. He's Martinez. He's a fan favourite. He played it exceptional today. Luke Shaw, I'd give a 6.5 to Luke Shaw. I feel like that his crossing, him going forward, Luke Shaw is a 7.5 constantly, but he worries me defensively. I just feel like he doesn't have the pace to get back. He's not really physical enough, and he gives away silly challenges, and that's my only frustration with Luke Shaw. So I would give him a 6.5, the lowest score of the evening. Actually, no, there's another player I want to mention, actually. But Luke Shaw, as a main starter, I would give him the lowest score of tonight's game, which is a 6.5. Casemiro, I'd give a 7. As you know, I'll give a 7.5 like Martinez. He broke up the play. He controlled the midfield. He does really well. He had a great first half, getting into tackles, winning the aerial duels. Obviously, his passing still isn't up to scratch, but I feel like that will just get better and better as the weeks goes on. And again, actually, before I carry on talking about the players, I wish every player who's going to the World Cup a great World Cup. Thank you for what you've done for us this season. You've to certain players, you've really stepped up your game. You've really improved. And I just really appreciate you all, and I hope you all have a great World Cup, and whoever wins is the better country. But anyway, Eriksen, I would give my man of the match to. I would give Eriksen an 8.5. I feel like the fact that Eriksen, he got the goal and assist. He played really well. He had 2 chances in the first half, obviously getting a goal, and him getting right into the box and just hitting it wide. So I think the goalkeeper would have had it covered anyway. But still, it's good to see Eriksen getting more forward than what he usually has been, because normally he's been staying on the edge of the box. But in this game, he was actually getting into the box, which is a big difference. I feel like that we should start implementing that more, where if Eriksen is going into the box, then Bruno stays on the edge of the box, and then vice versa. If Bruno's going into the box, then Eriksen stays on the edge of the box, just in case we get a rebound and a player of them quality can just take a shot from outside the box. Because I feel like that if we put Eriksen and Bruno into the box when they're attacking, and then we've got our forwards, our 2 wingers and a striker in the box, that's 5 players. So then really, who have you got back? Then all you've got is your full-backs and Casemiro and your centre-backs to stop a counter-attack, and we don't really have blistering, pacing defenders apart from really Malacia and Varane, who's out injured. I know Martinez is relatively quick, but he's not a blistering pacing centre back, but he's still I'm not going to say he's world class, but he's still top class. Martinez is. But anyway, I would give Eriksen my man of the match in an 8.5. I think he played really well. Bruno, I would give a 7 to. I think that in the first half I would have given him an 8. I feel like he created a load. He took a few shots. He played really well. But then as the match progressed in the second half, the fact that he was put on the right wing, I feel like he's just wasted there. It just doesn't suit him there whatsoever. And I would give him a 6 for that second half performance. So for me, it's an overall 7 for Bruno. I feel like he did have a good first half, but the second half, him on the right wing just isn't it really. He is much better as the number 10. Speaking of right wingers, the lowest score of today's video, I'm going to give Elanga. It's time for you to go on loan, mate. The fact that Garnacho can come on who is what I think he's 18 months younger than Elanga. The fact that Elanga has burst onto the scene and improving with each game, I feel like Elanga's just been overhyped, and that's my only fear with Garnacho, is that Elanga was overhyped. We didn't have any depth whatsoever. I've said this many times, Elanga should be in the Championship, on loan, learning his trade and becoming a better footballer, because he isn't cut out for the Premier League at all, in my opinion. Hopefully, if United bring a forward in January, that will allow a player like Elanga to go out on loan. But anyway, I would give Elanga a 5.5. I feel like he was just below average. I found him invisible. I didn't notice him do anything. So yeah, I do feel sorry for the lad, because he is young. He still has time to improve, and that's why I think he should be doing what Amad Diallo's doing, doing what Hannibal Mabry's doing, just what Garnacho did Garner did last season, on loan in the Championship or League One, just learning your trade and becoming a better footballer. But who's left? Rashford. I feel like Rashford was very hit or miss. I like how much Rashford's starting to track back now. I am noticing him starting to bulk up and starting to take on opponents better again, and starting to get more physical with players that challenge him. So I would give Rashford a 7. I feel like he played relatively well. He got a few shots off. He created a few times. He obviously got offside, I think once in the game, or maybe twice. But as a whole, I'd give Rashford a 7. Martial, I think he performed well. I didn't notice him do too much, but I'd still give him a 7. I feel like that's what Martial does, is that the only thing that Martial does that's better than Ronaldo is that he can play back to goal. He's a creative striker, and that's something Ronaldo lacks, because I still feel like Ronaldo's very selfish. And I watched the post-match press conference with Ten Hag, and the interviewer asked him about Garnacho's stubbornness earlier this season, and does he still need to keep that stubbornness to become a good footballer? And Ten Hag said, yes, of course, you've got to have that stubbornness to be a footballer, but you've still also got to be a team player. And I think that's what Ronaldo lacks, which is why he's caused issues in the dressing room over the last 2 years he's been here, over the last 1.5 seasons, however long he's been here for. But yeah, I would still give Martial a 7. He created the goal. He started the goal itself. He obviously was on the edge of the box, saw Bruno making his run. He passes it forward towards Bruno. Bruno obviously passes it to Eriksen. Obviously, it takes a little bit of a deflection off the Fulham defender, and then Eriksen just taps it in, which was a very good goal. So I feel like Ronaldo probably takes a shot if he was in Martial's shoes. But McTominay, I would give a 6-2. I feel like he didn't do too much when he came on. It kind of ruined the momentum. And obviously, bringing McTominay on for Elanga is what forced Bruno to be put on the right wing, which kind of devalued Bruno's score. So I would give McTominay a 6. I didn't really notice him do much. He obviously won a few tackles, won a few aerial duels. He was physical, and he didn't do anything wrong today, really. And finally, because I think we only made 2 subs today, didn't we? So yeah, last player being Garnacho, obviously the hero of tonight, scoring the literally last kick of the game. This kid is something else, and I know we're probably the same age, or maybe he's just a bit older than me, but he's a great youth prospect. He's got a lot going for him, and we just need to do what we've not done with Elanga, where we don't overhype him. If he doesn't perform well, we've got to remember how young he is and how undeveloped he is, and how new he is, really. And United, we need to keep hold of Garnacho. We need to protect him at all costs, because if we let Garnacho go, I guarantee you now, you could, a top team would pay 25 to 30 million for Garnacho now. And the fact that we've got Ten Hag, who's an actual development coach, who, like, look what he's done with Rashford, Dalot, McTominay this season. He can literally create a monster. And the fact as well that Garnacho has the availability of playing with Ronaldo and Messi at the end of their careers, he literally could become a superstar. But obviously, I'm not going to get too excited. I love what he's doing. He's getting better game by game. But yes, I don't know if I've already said his score, but I would give him a 7.5 out of 10, obviously. And yeah, I feel like he was the hero tonight. Obviously, Eriksen was my man of the match, but I'd say give the moment of the match to Garnacho. Take a bow, son. And I don't think Garnacho's going to the World Cup, so that will be good for Ten Hag to keep developing him. There's going to be a video out tomorrow, excuse me, about players not going to the World Cup. So yes, there'll be a lot of Manchester United content coming during the World Cup. Let me know if you want any videos based on the World Cup, scouting United players and seeing how they're performing at the World Cup. But yeah, I've got a load of video ideas coming to the channel very soon. But yeah, thank you for watching today's video. Please remember to like, subscribe, comment and share. But yes, Manchester United win 2-1 at Craven Cottage. Great game. And yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.